Okay, so I want to teach you today the 5 steps to following your heart. Okay, so this is my formula. This is my best formula for manifesting your best life. Basically, the universe or some kind of divine entity within the universe is trying to help you right now. It's trying to help you right now. And our mind is closed to this help. And basically, this divine force wants to take you to the best possible place. It really does. And we unfortunately have our own, not only are we closed to this help, but we have our own wishes and intentions bringing us in other directions. Okay, so when normal people do manifestation, this is very good. However, the best type of manifestation is when you are manifesting the same thing as what the divine consciousness wants for you. Does that make sense? So I'm just going by my own experience. I've been able to create a lot of great things in my life. Um, for example, a 5-figure per month business, a great, business partner, amazing people in my life, different partners throughout my life. I had a job as a monk where I was teaching meditation classes, and I basically got my food paid for, my housing paid for, my cell phone paid for, my gas paid for, everything I needed paid for. And all I had to do was show up and teach classes. So I think a lot of you, and I was like in a beautiful, I had a house all to myself with a saltwater pool in, South Florida. And basically, most people would think that this is amazing, right? And I taught 8 classes per week on average, and I led other prayer ceremonies too. But I had a lot of time to go to the beach, to eat healthy. I've been blessed with so many things in my life, and I think if you're like a healer or coach who's a spiritual one, maybe you're like, man, all I really want is, some people don't even really want a business. Some people just want to show up and do your work. And I had that for a while, where I basically was, yeah, was just given a lifestyle where I just plugged into a center with students already there, and I just taught, and it was so fulfilling for me. And before that, I found the meditation center in the first place. I got a job as a substance abuse counselor. Now I'm an online coach, and I basically created a really, really good life. And right now, for example, we have 2 places: one in Michigan, a house on a lake, is not cheap, and then one in Sarasota, Florida, which is a condo. Right, it's like 1 mile away from what's considered the best beach in America. Sometimes it wins that award as the best beach in America, and they all brag about it. And it's an amazing, powerful beach where the sand is made of crystal quartz powder, for real. So this is the type of life that I've created for myself. Right now I work. I mean, technically, I really do work a lot, but I don't have to work that much, right? And so I've created a schedule where I don't have to work that much. I get to work a lot. An entrepreneur wants to work a lot, so I do like working. So basically, right now this is a Saturday, and instead of being on the beach, I'm filming this video for you. So I love what I do, but I just want to say I've created a good life, and it's not because I manifest the things that I want. It's because I align with what the universe wants from me, and then I manifest that. Does that make sense? This is different. This is different. And actually, if you listen to people like Michael Beckwith, who's considered like a manifestation pro or whatever, he says the same thing. Mind Valley Vision talks about this too. I didn't get this from them. I found this out myself, but then in my marketing research, I look at Mind Valley because they have the best marketing of any wellness businesses in the world. And so I study them. And so that's how I found them. I'm very content with my own spiritual practice. But basically, I want to share with you what I consider to be the best formula for actually doing this. And it involves connecting to our heart. So our heart is the mechanism by which the universe takes us to where we want to be. The heart is the way that the universe communicates to us. It's like a receiver, right? And the universe or the divine consciousness communicates to us. I call it like enlightened beings within my practice or my spiritual guide, but it's a divine entity in the universe. According to my understanding, it's not an all-powerful force, and there is no all-powerful force in the world besides karma, according to my understanding. But there's very powerful divine beings who are extremely beneficial, and they're all-knowing. So this is the way I think of the world. There's people, there's only just people, and the people have progressed to various levels of spiritual development. The ones who are fully developed spiritually are called enlightened beings, and their minds pervade all of reality. They are all-knowing, they are blissful, all compassionate. They're quite powerful. They've freed themselves from problems, and then they have the power to bless others and draw people into their same state. Okay, and these enlightened beings try to prevent us from like little problems sometimes that would take us off our path. Sometimes they'll throw little problems at us to increase the power of our path, right? Sometimes problems make us better spiritually. And basically, yeah, they try to help us to become enlightened too. Okay, so my whole way of manifesting involves connecting to these people. And I call them people because that's what they are. They're just enlightened people, which is what you will become when you practice like this. Okay, so, I first created this formula. I guess I kind of articulated it back in 2019, in early 2019, and I created a little meditation course about following your heart. And I didn't sell any of it, but or not many. But basically, it's because I didn't know what I know now about marketing. But I basically created a webinar, and so just so you know, like if you're not successful right away in creating a business, don't worry, you're in good company. Most people aren't successful in the beginning. Okay, so I'm filming this course. Just to caveat a little bit, I'm filming this course because I already have clients and because I already have a coaching program. And so this is like something additional, right? This is not, creating a course is not the first thing I recommend usually. But anyway, so I created this formula in 2019, but it was inspired, the original pieces of it were inspired by a transition that I made in my life where my life went from pretty bad to really, really good. Okay. And I kind of figured out in hindsight, I looked back and I figured out these are the things that I did. And yes, you can say I followed my heart, but most people don't know how to follow their heart. For most people, if you say, hey, just follow your heart and you'll get to the best destination, right? It's like the universe is going to take you there. You just put up your sail and the universe's wind will kind of carry you all the way to where you want, to the best possible place, right? The thing that we want to manifest for ourselves is usually not the best thing for us, right? But maybe what the universe wants for us is even better, much better than that. What the universe wants for you is much better than what you want for yourself, and it actually helps you spiritually, whereas what we want for ourselves isn't always spiritually beneficial for us. So this is why I say, instead of struggling and fighting and swimming upstream when you do manifestation, instead do this, where you're just kind of like putting up your sail and the universe will take you to a place far better than you could ever imagine. I promise you. Okay. So this is what happened to me. And so I just want to explain, like, looking back, how I was able to do this. Okay. This is what worked for me. And, like I said, following your heart is the way. But if you say that to most people, they're going to be like, oh, I don't really know how to do that. Or I don't really know how to follow my heart. And they're like, can you give me some more information? Because that's not accessible. For a lot of people, it's not accessible to just tune in and listen to their heart. They need more guidance. And so I went back into a time of my life where I needed more guidance. I had kind of, this is part of my story, I had kind of really gotten into psychology and then spirituality. I wanted to become a counselor. I found Buddhism. My mind is blown open. My life became spiritual. My mindset became spiritual. And then I kind of moved back home and kind of hung around with old friends, and I smoked pot a couple times, actually a bunch of times. And then I just kind of like I was on the best trajectory of my whole life spiritually. And I just went, zoom, and I ended up, dude, I'll just share with you. Well, I don't need to share all the details, but basically, due to fear, I went back to school for engineering because I wanted to be able to create, yeah, like a financial stability for myself and what would be my future family. And went back to school for engineering. It was not my passion, although I thought I was good at it, but it turns out I was just mediocre. I was mediocre at it compared to the other kids in the classes. I was quite mediocre. I needed their help basically. It wasn't my passion. My mind started to degenerate. My spirituality left. My mind became superficial. Um, I became just in my head, right? And so I did this for, I mean, on and off for, well, I was in those classes for about a year. But, starting, at some point I started to really realize I can't keep doing this. And then I dropped out of school, and I just, within a couple of weeks, I had found myself being trained to be a substance abuse counselor. And then I got the internship, got the job. From the job, I found the Buddhist temple, moved in, became a monk, became a resident teacher. Now I do online coaching. It was just like everything fell into place as soon as I did these things from bad. When I say bad, like my relationship with my girlfriend at the time was really suffering. I was really, really, really disconnected from myself. I was miserable. I just didn't have my presence anymore. I didn't have my charm anymore. All my dynamic qualities, I just didn't have my intuition. I wasn't connected to any of those things, which is interesting because like some of you know me, I'm very connected to these things. And I was before, I was before then. So it felt like such a stark contrast. Okay. So again, this is what I did to get myself back on the right track. Okay, so I guess for your sake, I'm going to film these in different videos so that you can watch them more easily. Okay, so I'm going to stop this one and start the next one.